to begin with.
So this could be your thing, you know?
Could be.
A virtual comedian.
It's not like I can make less money than I was making before, right? It's mathematically impossible.
It would.
What's that?
Jenny wants me to make
Joe.
wood.
We are live in YouTube. Live in YouTube. I'll share the link of the live stream link over to the Facebook page. But we are on.
Well, they didn't tell me this was going to be on the internet.
Okay. So is wood a bad word per the FCC now?
Wood?
Why?
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to our virtual Key Party show. We have the Key Party show every Friday at 10 p.m. At Just the Funny Theater, Miami's home for improv, stand-up, and sketch comedy. But because of COVID, we are coming to you from our remote location. So thank you so much for everybody that's joining.
At the Ritz-Carlton.
Home. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, the hecklers starting right away when we had the Zoom. Okay, well,
it's pretty nice here at the Ritz-Carlton.
I don't have a microphone here at home, so I guess the last time I performed and there was no microphone, it felt weird, so I had to improvise one. I held one and pretended. Which worked well until mid-joke somebody took a picture of me and posted on Facebook, which didn't look too good. So my girlfriend didn't like that picture, but it did increase the activity on my Grindr account. So I'm happy about that. Since it looks like a few of you are drinking, I'm going to get the math joke out of the way right away while you're still somewhat clear-headed. If you take COVID-19 and take the Roman numerals from COVID-19,
go watch this.
It's DCIV, and that's the Roman numerals that represent 604. And then because the virus has turned our world upside down, you take 19, turn it upside down, and that's 61. And then the only other letter in COVID is the O, which stands for 1. So if you add those together, 604, 61, and 1, you get 666. And what that means is I have way too much time during this quarantine, way too much time on my hands.
And ours.
I've adjusted my Fitbit to work for COVID. I adjusted it and we went out on our walk and it said that at the end of the walk, it said that we were 15 steps away from the nearest person. So tomorrow we're going to really try and push ourselves and make it 20 steps away. So did you notice that the telemarketers have stopped too? The telemarketers they aren't calling anymore. They could be furloughed, but what I think it is that people now have time to answer them and mess with them to waste their time. So they're not calling anymore. That's a bright side to COVID. Another thing with COVID, we're watching a lot on Netflix. I'm sure many of you have seen or heard about the Tiger King documentary on Netflix. Oklahoma, where the weird comes sweeping down the plain. Yeah, that's the new theme song for it. I live in Plantation, Florida. It's a very big Jewish community. I'm not Jewish, but there's a lot of nice synagogues around here. This is an absolutely true story. This is in January, before social distancing started. I went to the Publix and it was absolutely packed, and I wonder what was going on. But they were having a special where they had cooking stations throughout the store. It was Kosher Made Easy, where they were showing people how to make kosher food, which is pretty cool. And this very nice gentleman in the Orthodox clothing came up to me and said, here's a $5 off coupon for anything you buy when you check out of the grocery store. And I said, oy vey. And he said, well, two things. Number one, you don't have to be Jewish to use the coupon. And number two, I know you're not Jewish because we don't say that. So, so I continued on to the store, and then I realized I was there to buy bacon. And I felt really, really guilty about buying bacon on sale with a discount card from the Jewish community. And then it made me realize that feeling guilty probably made me an honorary Jew. I don't know. I think that's how that works. Then I realized I in my cart, it was just the bacon and a lot of junk food. And I hate going to the cashier and checking out with all that junk food. I'm afraid the cashier will judge me. So I go over to the vegetable aisle, and I put a whole bunch of veggies, bagged veggies in my cart. I call it a cauliflower camouflage. Covers all the junk food. The problem is that when I get home, I put it in my freezer and it won't fit because I already have 50 bags of other vegetables that I haven't eaten yet. So that's a problem for me. I also, when I'm at the grocery store, I like to buy seasonal food. So I stopped by and picked up some spring water. I need a rim shot. I need the rim shot on that one. I also went back at the Publix. I also went back to the lobster tank. I didn't want to buy any lobster. I just wanted to look through the tank to have the lobsters avoid my eye contact so I don't choose them. It reminds me a lot when I'm in a bar full of women. Right next to it is they had some shrimp. They had shrimp for $7.99 and deveined shrimp for $11.99. And the deveined, I found out, is that's where they take that vein off of the shrimp, which is really that line of excrement on their back. Is there any other food where we need to pay extra for it not to be served in its own crap? Imagine going to a steakhouse, yes, sir, good choice. You chose the sirloin. For just $5 extra, we can add the sauteed mushrooms. But for just $10 extra, we can remove the cow droppings. Before COVID, I missed traveling. Before COVID, I was at the airport. TSA asked me if I was going on for business or pleasure. And I told them I was going to see my family in Indiana. So did they have a third category? Actually, I didn't mind going up there, but it's my father and my stepmother, and it's a really small town, Crown Point. There's nothing to do there. It's a whole different world. I woke up the first morning and they were heading out the door. I said, "Where are you going?" They said, "Well, we're going to the computer store." I said, "Well, I know a little bit about computers. Maybe I can help you." And they say, "No, we just have to pick up some eggs." Apparently, their computer guy also owns chickens. And that is the equivalent of their Costco superstore there. You can go there whether you need fried eggs or have a fried motherboard. Either way. While I was at the airport, I heard this guy say that he was going to be traveling from Oakland, California to Auckland, New Zealand. From Oakland to Auckland. But he was Scottish, so he said it in a Scottish accent. He said, "I'd be going to Auckland to Auckland." It sounded like he was going on a 12-hour flight to nowhere, just a circle. But I did research my joke on that to know it was 12 hours between those two places. And by research, I mean I sat in my underwear on my couch and talked to Siri. And so I said, how long is it to travel? How long is it to travel from Auckland, New Zealand to Oakland, California? And it came back and said, it takes the speed of sound 9 hours to travel from that distance. What in my search history makes Siri think that I want to know physics, a physics answer to that question? I've taken flights before. It should assume that I'm flying. I don't do physics, phys ed maybe, but not physics. I wanted a place to practice my comedy during the day, and I found the perfect spot, the Department of Motor Vehicles, because the DMV is filled with bored people wall to wall that are just looking for entertainment. So I started doing my show there. It was going well, but at the end of the first day, they kicked me out. Apparently, people were failing their driving test because of the 2-drink minimum. Okay, well, I am going to get out of the way here because we have 3 wonderful feature comics for you tonight. Please give them a round of applause for those of you that are on Zoom. First up, the very funny, we had her at the Key Party about a month or 2 ago. Very, very funny. Anya!
Yay! That's so good to see you even on Zoom. And I didn't expect that people are gonna be watching us on YouTube. And the problem is I don't know who's watching us right now. Like, it could be my parents and now I'm like self-conscious what jokes I can make. It could be my co-workers, well, my former co-workers. I got fired a week ago. So actually I don't give a shit because I can talk shit about them right now. And that will help me probably. Well, honestly, it's been tough because like I'm home and I'm an actress. I love audience. I love to connect with people. And like I'm talking to myself a lot, and my balcony became my stage lately. So I live in a condominium in Miami, and it's like
she divorced their father.
Oh, we can hear someone. It's okay. You can talk to me. So it's a V-shaped building where I live, and my balcony is right here. So I have people like from both sides, and I'm on the 3rd floor. So first I was very conservative, and I would go tan in my bikini. But then I noticed like I hate to have those drapes, you know, like you have white lines from your bikini. I'm like, you know what? I always wanted to get rid of them. This is my chance, and this is the time. So I started to go topless, and I go sunbathing on my balcony topless. And there's one lady, the family next to me, my neighbors, well, they have 2 children, 2 little boys. And she gets so mad, she yells at me, she screams, and she brings so much attention to me. So it's like a free marketing. So I go on the balcony and I just lay there and I sunbath. So this is my time to perform somehow. What else I've been doing? I also started to take singing classes. Well, I'm not a singer. I just, there's one neighbor below me, he's French and his voice sounds sexy. He smokes a lot of weed and he never invites me over. So now when I hear him downstairs, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just sing right now. And I start to sing and I hope it's a revenge. Hopefully it's working. He still didn't invite me over, but I'm trying. But what else I've been doing? Well, I'm Russian, so I decided to spend this time, you know, and do something good to myself. So I learned how to smile. It took for me 2 weeks. It's been tough. Like I had to work my cheeks and, you know, like put eyes when I get to bed. And next day I was like, okay, I can do it. I can smile now. Maybe it will help me to get a job once it's over. The whole thing. You know, like it's been years ago, but people still talk about it, that Putin stole a ring, as a Super Bowl ring, and people still talk about it. And I'm like, okay, let me first of all educate you. He didn't steal anything. He has other things to steal, maybe Crimea area, but not the ring, you know? And in our culture, when somebody shows me something, like if somebody, like I have a bracelet and I show you a bracelet, it means a sign of respect. It's like, I respect you, here, you can take it. So my closet is full of things. I even have my best friend's boyfriend right now waiting for me. Like, if you let me touch it, it means you want me to have it. So people just get over it. It's been years already. Just, you know, like it makes sense. Like just don't hand us things if you don't want us to keep it. Well, I might keep some of them. What else I've been doing? Well, a lot of things. You know what? I've been analyzing my life and I noticed like dating in Miami and dating in Russia is very different. Like here guys, I'm sorry to say it, but like such a pussy, like when they hear a girl saying no, it doesn't mean no, it means maybe. Like in our culture, we would never say yes to a guy to a cup of coffee right away. Like he has to work for it. Like I cannot say yes right away. Like he has to try at least 3 times and they know it. But American guy, you say them no and they just run, you know? And like once the guy actually get it and he's trying harder and he gives you gifts and he's persistent. Like I had a guy, he was waiting for me downstairs. He was waiting for me at work. And my coworkers, my former coworkers, they would tell me, oh, he's a stalker. I'm like, no, he's not a stalker. This is romance. And so they're like, no, you need to get restraining order. I'm like, no, I don't. This is like what men should do. Like I should like deliver this message to women. Like, don't be easy on guys. Like let them work for it. Like let them actually do the work. Like it's way too easy. Like say no. And I mean, sometimes we do mean no, but let them do the work. It's been inside of me. I just want to let it out. Do the work. What else? Well, I'm an actress. I wanted to be an actress since I remember myself, like since I was 11 probably. And I remember I told my mom, I want to be an actress. And she told me, she was like, honey, but then you will have to sleep with directors and producers. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I want to be an actress, not a president, you know, not yet. But the truth is, I do want to be president one day, like, but I don't know what to do to be president. It's not like a school you can go to and become a president. So I decided to watch our former president and follow his lead, follow his steps. So I decided to become a comedian first, and then we'll see how it's gonna end. But nobody can beat him. He's funny. He's funnier than all other comedians are. Well, give him some respect. So let me see what else I got for you guys. Well, besides being an actress, I used to be a professional wrestler. Believe it or not, I was wrestling for WWE. And I noticed like 3 types of fans that go to the shows. It's usually kids. Nothing against kids. They're super nice, cute. There are dads that come with kids to watch, not their kids, but to watch tits. And there are dudes that just go to watch the tits, you know? It's all about that. And but what was interesting about it, like when I was in the training camp, you walk in the gym and it's like 4 or 5 gyms, 4 or 5 rings, they're all around. And if you close your eyes, it sounds like you're watching a porn, like a hardcore German porn. Like it's so sexual, like it's crazy because people are screaming, moaning, slapping each other. Like it's so sexual, like, people get horny. And at one day, like coaches finally realize it's wrong. Like it's not healthy for athletes. So they make us shut up. So they told us, okay, you cannot make a sound during the practice. And so we shut up, we never make any sounds. And then once we perform on real ring on stage, like it sounded like we're faking it, you know, like it was bad. It was like all fake, we were faking it. But yeah, wrestling, I was so bad at wrestling, you know, I was so stiff. Yeah, that's why like they get rid of me. But that was also part of my life. Well, I'm gonna tell you last joke, not the joke, but actually a true story. I don't have children, but I have a god's daughter. She's 7, her name is Kira. And one day I was babysitting her and she's like all into princesses and prince and she wears like everything pink. And she told me, she was like, Anya, I want to meet my prince one day. I'm like, listen, I don't want to disappoint you. Like maybe there's one out there. I'm sorry, I still haven't met mine, but I know for sure you're going to suck a lot of dicks. And you better get used to that. And you better get used to that idea and start learning now and ask her, what is your favorite lollipop? What is your favorite flavor? And she goes, strawberry. And I'm like, cool. Okay, so next time you have a strawberry lollipop in your mouth, I want you to remember the taste of it, like use all of your senses. It's called sense memory. Well, if you want to be an actress, you will know what it is. So you remember all those feelings and it's going to help you, you know, when you're grown. Well, I don't have a goddaughter anymore. She's still alive. I'm just not allowed to see her. Well, for all women out there, please spread the message, tell little girls what their future holds for them and prepare them from now so they're going to be ready. Oh my gosh, I hope my parents didn't see it.
All right, Anya.
Bye.
Everybody, Anya. All right, thank you very much, Anya. Setting back the Me Too movement 2 years in your 10 minutes set there. Funny stuff. Somebody told me after your show last time that they really loved the smile joke that you did. So you should do that one as well next time. So thank you. Our next comic looks like he's coming to us from his underground bunker, all the way from the west coast of Florida. And by introducing him now, I'm going to give him his new stage name. Please welcome the very funny Old Larry Young.
Thank you. This is awesome. I mean, am I transmitting? Can you hear me? This is all
Yes,
new.
yes.
I don't see myself. Well, I always love going after Anya. This is my second time. I learned so much about her. Like, apparently she's really acquainted with German porn. She knows exactly how to land a job in Hollywood. And I know that niet does not necessarily mean niet. So I guess I could just come out and I'll be putting a tent up on her balcony until I win her over. So, but she's great. And quarantine's been different. I don't know how it's been on you guys, but the reason why I'm actually coming at you from my garage is because my house is just crowded with kids and my wife. And I had to step outside. You know, they get pretty rowdy. I guess they're watching Trolls 2 without me, which is upsetting because I actually wanted to watch that movie. You know, I actually do like watching kids movies, but yeah, things I've learned about the coronavirus and this whole situation. Oddly enough, they're streaming How to Get Away with Murder every season, every episode. I find that's a really bad idea. I'm actually sleeping with one eye open now. I always think that my wife's on the other side, kind of getting ideas and thinking things over, and she's always looking over at me just to see what she's putting together. It's kind of disturbing. They also have Tainted Love Tuesdays on Lifetime. Again, it's all about, mostly about women killing men, so it's fantastic. So, you know, it's great, you know, and yeah, so I don't know exactly where my future will go. I just walk around very cautiously. You know, we watch 48 Hours and Dateline, and it's tough. You know, I'm always watching her very carefully now. You know, I do all the cooking, so that way only I handle the kitchen knives, just in case anything happens. My kids, they're running around the house. We've actually gone through more food in the last 2 weeks than we have in a long time because, you know, they're not in public school now, and I actually really cherish public school more than ever. Now I have to try to homeschool them, and I hope that not only do they not finish the year, I'm doing so poorly, they'll probably have to repeat last year. That's how bad it's going. So that's not so much fun. But I've reached out to different companies. You know, they got that show 60 Days In. And I've decided to up the ante, and I've contacted the network and the producers because I want to do 90 Days In. Like, I'm ready to go. You know, just take me out of here, stick me in jail for 90 days just so I can get some time off. You know, I desperately need it. You know, Naked and Afraid, I would absolutely love to do that. You know, nothing but, you know, your bag and a knife, completely naked. That to me, you know, dropped in the middle of nowhere, that just sounds like paradise right now. I would totally do that. I mean, I could be out there in the middle of nowhere, bitten by a poisonous snake and maybe even dying of dehydration. The producer would just look at me and say, "Hey, you're probably not going to survive this, man. You need to get out of here." And I would just roll over and look him in the eye and say, no, I'm staying. I got an angry wife and kids at home. And with the quarantine, I don't want to do it. I just want to do my time. So I would love that. I even volunteered when this thing first broke out, if I could be patient zero for Fort Myers. But they told me that the quarantine options were stay in your house. You know, I told them that's exactly the opposite of what I'm trying to do right now. So thanks, but no thanks. So, you know, again, just being stuck in a house, and you know, I try to see the positive. I try to cherish my wife as much as I can. And, but I did tell her the other day, you know, with this situation, you know, now that I see how much you do, I do think that I need to get you some help. And she turned around and she got a little teary eyed and she said, "What? You mean a housekeeper? One that cooks?" I said, "No, I was actually thinking about getting a couple sister wives. And it wouldn't just be more versions of you. I was thinking about maybe a, a little Asian girl, because everybody loves spicy chicken, and maybe a little Spanish girl, because Mexican food, you know. But she's not down with that. So I'm looking at him like, look, it's just you and me in this crowded house. We got to do something about this. So I told her we need to try something new. So I pulled out a couple outfits. I pulled out a nurse, and she's like, all right. And she put it on. I was like, yeah. I tried a French maid. Ooh la la. And then I went to grab another outfit and she said, stop. Now it's my turn. And so I said, okay, I can be something else. I can try something else. What do you want to do? So she gave me some clothes, a pair of pants, a shirt, and a wig. And I put them on. And I kind of looked at myself. I said, I don't get it. Who am I supposed to be? She said, now you look like Dave, our neighbor from 2 doors down. So that killed that dream. So what else we got going on here? So again, with the quarantine, it's just easy. I actually started to have a gout attack last night.
Woo, me too.
And I've actually eaten better. Yeah, I actually eaten better. I drank more water, and now I know that my gout is family induced. It's my environment. It has nothing to do with my diet. Like, I think my wife is seriously just trying to put me down. She keeps saying, so it looks like your legs are getting tighter, almost like a wounded animal. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. So, but I think I'm just about through it. I think I was able to stave it off, but, I can't show weakness in this house. My kids are always watching, they want to see who the dominant parent is, like who's the alpha. Whenever we go on vacations, even my wife would volunteer me for things like, hey, you want to go in the shark tank, you want to go in one of those things and scuba tank. I'm like, yeah, sure. Do you want to go parasailing? Do you want to go zip lining? And I can never back down, because I know that if I did that, I know my kids would look at me and say, well, why is dad chickening out? And of course my wife would play it up and she would say, it's okay, daddy's scared. And then my kids will look at me and say, it's okay, dad, we get scared of things too, but I can't do that. I'm the dad. I've got to be the strong one. I've got to be the rock. So I've put myself in a couple of dangerous situations. I know my wife is always checking to see how I make it through, just waiting to cash in on that life insurance policy. So, but yeah, it's dangerous. And actually, it brings me to another point is, people that actually murder their spouses, it's like you really do need to do more homework, don't make it obvious. It's so funny. You got that show, How to Get Away with Murder. That's a great example. It tells you all these things about how to get rid of a body and, how to fake the evidence and how to find, your alibi. It's actually hilarious. And if you're going to commit a crime, do a little homework. Be a smart thug. Don't be the guy who just wanders out in flip flops and commits a crime. You got to think about it. You got so many possibilities. You've got 48 hours. You've got live PD. You've got 20. Was that I said 48 hours? Yeah. Anyway, so you have so many different shows you can watch and just learn. Don't just like try to go out there and sell weed and flip flops and looking obvious. Know how to disguise yourself. If you're going to have a car, like make sure that all the lights are working. Don't run out there and your lights, you get pulled over for something dumb and you end up going to jail for life. I kind of see myself, kind of like Clint Eastwood movie, when he did that, where he was the oldest drug runner. I was like, man, I would totally do that job. You just make sure everything's running, almost like you walk out to a plane check, make sure all your lights are working, then load up the back with as much crap as I can fill in that thing, and then just put it on cruise control. And no one's going to pull you over. So just be a smart thug. So what else do I got? Geez, it's been busy. I've seen a lot of people posting different memes. It's amazing how people suddenly get creative and they try to post their own philosophies, and just have to be careful what you read though. I've read a lot. I don't even want to go into it because I might offend some people. So, but I understand that now the Democrats are waving the transgender flag in all their offices. I guess they're so concerned about the next election that they're trying to dip into every voting pool. I didn't even know the transgenders had a flag, which is kind of surprising. You know, did not know that. You know, I guess every organization has some sort of a flag you can wave. So that's interesting. President Trump always doing hilarious things, saying the best things. So we'll see how that goes, how this situation comes out. Let's see, what else we got? I've actually tried to start working out, and it seems like, obviously this is not the best situation. The gyms are all closed. So I've actually tried to watch my eating and drink more water. And I think all that stress on me is what caused my gout. But, you know, and everybody tells me, just keep trying, man, because, you know, muscle memory, you're a pilot. It'll come back to you. Just keep working out. And apparently my muscles don't have a memory that goes back that far. Seems like my muscles are very forgetful. When I tried to do an exercise, everything in my body just started to seize up, and all these signals went to my brain. And you know, it was like, what's going on? And my brain had to just tell all my muscles, hey, it's just exercise, you know, calm down. So that's about it, though. That's my life right now in a nutshell. I know you guys are probably stuck in your personal spaces too. So, you know, thank you for letting me be part of this, and I hope everybody's safe. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, old Larry Young. Thank you. And Larry, if you need to tell your kids that I gave you a 3-hour set so you could stay there alone in your garage, I'll vouch for you. I'll vouch
Absolutely.
for you there.
Thank
And
you.
I hear you about the forgetfulness. Doctors will tell you that low metabolism is why you gain weight when you're older, but that's not my case. My case is because of forgetfulness. I go into the kitchen and then I forget what I was in there for. My fiance will walk by and ask, what are you in here for? And I don't want to admit that I'm senile and that I forgot why I'm there. So I said, I came in to make a sandwich. So last night I had made 6 sandwiches after dinner. So that's my weight. That's my weight story. Okay, now many of you are on Zoom here because you came to see one particular comic, and he is up next. And he tours with Man Candy, but you could probably know that just by looking at him.
Nice.
God.
Please welcome Jesse Cohen.
Woo! Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the most sober I've ever been doing stand-up comedy. I haven't had a drink in hours. Let's see how this goes. God, y'all, thanks for coming out. That's a misuse of a term. Thanks for turning on your computer and making it all the way over to your computer to be here. I hope this is as fun for y'all as it is for me. Look, I'm not going to do normal stuff like, you know, this is supposed to be stand-up comedy, but I'm not going to stand up because I'm not wearing pants right now. And what else do we got? Look, this is chaos theory. Y'all know what chaos theory is? Like, what's his name? The nerd character in Jurassic Park talked about chaos theory, this classic idea that you can have a butterfly that flaps its wings somewhere in China and it will cause a hurricane in the North Atlantic Ocean just a month later because of the ripple effects of small things. But I don't think that's the chaos theory explanation anymore. The chaos theory now is that some Chinaman eats a fucking uncooked bat. And now you guys got to watch stand-up comedy online and I don't wear pants. Great. There's no fucking toilet paper. Can I rant about the toilet paper situation for a minute? Here's the thing. This is very personal to me because for like months, and some of my comic friends can vouch for this. I know some of you have actually heard this material before. Ito, he can vouch for this. For months, I worked on this totally lame joke. It just never went anywhere. But the premise of the joke, if I tried now, no one would even believe me because it's so fucking true all of a sudden. Here's the thing. Last year, at the end of the year, I took all these rolls of toilet paper out of the drawers in my bathroom because in my household, I save toilet paper
Oh,
rolls
no.
when I'm done and I get
Where you at?
down. Can you hear me? When I get down to the bottom of the roll of toilet paper. Did I just cut out? Fuck.
No, you're here.
We can
You're
hear you.
Oh,
Somebody
okay, good.
else was talking.
Okay.
Okay.
When I get down to the roll at the bottom of the toilet paper, I keep the roll.
I think I'm still
So at
moving.
the end of the year, I
Jesse
can
phone
have
is frozen.
a box full of toilet paper rolls, and I just go through and I count how many rolls of toilet paper my household used so I can budget for the next year and never have too much or too little toilet paper.
Okay.
And that's true. I really do this. The thing is, the punchline to this, which is also true, is I should not be getting my life hack suggestions from people in my OCD support group. Now, the new truth is that OCD support group is very, very helpful these days. I'm getting all sorts of techniques for killing off viruses. And also, my household used approximately 120 rolls of toilet paper last year. I'm never telling that fucking joke again. Another joke I'm never telling again is the story about my father, the goddamn tiger trainer. Thanks a lot, Oklahoma, and your fucking Tiger Kingdom. Okay? Here's the thing. When I was in first grade, my dad was an officer in the Coast Guard, but that didn't mean anything to me. I did not understand that my dad had a uniform and got to be an officer in the Coast Guard, and that was a completely reasonable and respectable job. Somehow, I was at the school library talking with the librarian, and I don't remember how this conversation began, but by the time I was done talking with the school librarian, I had told her that my father was the fucking tiger trainer at the Houston Zoo. And she believed this, which is dumb because they don't train tigers at the zoo. If you're local to the West Palm Beach area, morbid tag, they should. Our tiger recently ate the zookeeper, but that's another matter entirely. So maybe they should train them. Oh, watching people log off now. Okay, super. Anyway, so I told this fucking librarian that my dad was the tiger trainer at the Houston Zoo. When I got home from school that day, my mom's like, hey, why do they want your dad to come to the school with a tiger and talk about being a trainer at the zoo? And I'm like, yeah, about that. You're gonna have to rent a tiger. Now, okay. So the thing is, now with now this Tiger King thing, what I truly understand is maybe you guys know, just as a nuance of statistics and the terrible situation of the world, there are more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are alive in the wild. Full stop. That's not new. That's always been the case. In the early 1980s in Houston, Texas, when there was nothing but oil money and alcohol and cocaine, people were spending money on tigers. So if I go to my elementary school and tell the people that my dad's a tiger trainer and has tigers, there's really nothing about that they're going to find implausible. So they called my mom and asked her to be a guest speaker. Oh, shit. So after that, I couldn't go to that elementary school anymore. There was an incident. Not the Tiger King of Kingwood, Texas. Okay, so enough about toilet paper and the Tiger King. Let's get back to this, what is it, the Wuhan virus? That ain't nothing to fuck with. I know that's a meme now, but I came up with it on my own 2 months ago. Look, COVID, I don't know if we're supposed to be calling this COVID-19 or Corona. Corona seems like an immature name. Corona's like toilet paper. COVID-19, that's some fine bathroom tissue. Anyway, I can't even tell if people are laughing or not. This is so awkward. Like an insane person.
They muted me. I laughed.
Correct. We're laughing.
I just don't
Talking
want
to
I just
myself
don't want
in
you
a
to hear me
hotel room.
flushing. So I muted.
I can't see anybody. Everybody's just watching me. Okay, great.
I told you need the mic on. See?
Oh man, so like 2 months ago in January, I did a Corona joke. I did a COVID-19. We didn't even call it that, right? A coronavirus joke. In January, I got notes for it. Notes, people. I got notes for it from January at the Improv, where I'm ranting about how it's just really bad timing for Meatloaf. You guys know the singer Meatloaf, right? He's on a Bat Out of Hell world tour right
Uh-huh.
now.
Uh-huh.
His marketing department must be really kicking themselves. Like, the optics on that are terrible. But I tell you what, Meatloaf, you guys know who I'm talking about, right? He had that song in the 90s, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I was driving home from a show recently, a couple months ago, and I see on my phone this headline as I'm going like 95 miles an hour north on I-95. I'm reading this headline that says that Meatloaf, the singer, who is, if you don't remember what he looks like, he's a little bit fat, has become he's meatloafy. He's become a vegan. A vegan. Y'all know what that is. You don't need an explanation. He's not eating the animals anymore, okay? But he's not changing his name. He's still going to be Meatloaf the vegan, right? Okay, so I mean, like, this seems like an Onion headline. So I pull over to do a quick Google search, and I do a Google search for vegan in meatloaf. Obviously, those are worthless fucking search terms because all I got was recipes for vegan meatloaf. I would do anything for loaf, but I won't do that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna go hang myself. Fucking Bat Out of Hell tour. Hey, look, I don't know what's up with COVID-19. I'm not a doctor or an epidemiologist. I'm not a virologist. Let me scroll down and see if my virologist friend logged in. Nope. I do know a virologist. Look, I'm not a virologist, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. So I'm pretty sure that I have COVID-19 now.
Among other things.
I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna get sick. My jokes and my cough, they're both dry. Oh shit, I got a lot of notes here. You guys going anywhere? Keep drinking. Someone buy me a shot.
We're a captive audience.
Like penicillin. No, I just got a little more shit, and then I'm gonna let everybody get off. I gotta put some pants on. Oh man. It seems really weird that there's a disease that only hits like 3% of the time. Kind of like my COVID jokes. But at the same time, it does kill with boomers. That's sick. Okay. Oh, Oh, you guys know what an incel is, right? Incels, like dudes that want to have sex with women, but they can't because they don't know how. Because they
An involuntary celibate.
Yeah, involuntary celibate. Right. Yeah, sometimes they get really angry and murder. They suck. Yeah, so you know what? There are female incels, women that would like to have sex with men, but for whatever reason, they don't have enough game to exist. So there's a TV show about them now. It's called Prison Wives. Where these women go. Oh, you know, hi Heiko, what are you doing?
I'm listening to your funny.
Oh, okay. Why did you just pop up on my screen? It's so weird.
Mine too. He's
These
for everybody.
female incels. There's a show, Prison Wives, where they can go to prisons and meet men. And I just think there should be a show for men to go to female prisons and meet women. They could call it Incels. This is so stupid. It'd be a good show, though. It really would be a good show. I could be on it. You can meet some nice. I'll be in jail. I'll be in jail, and they just have women come to me. Like, when do you get that? I'd be like, never. I'm staying. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. Now I'm gonna do an impression. This is my impression. I'm not gonna stand up though because I'm serious. I'm not wearing pants. What are you zooming in, Heiko? I'm really not wearing pants. Just take my word for it. This is my impression of a mime that's a juggler. Okay. I'm Jesse Cohen. Please follow me on Instagram, Jesse, JESSETHECOHEN. If you're actually still watching this, then damn, you must be bored as fuck. Holy shit.
All right, Jesse Cohen, everybody.
Hey!
Jesse
I love you
Cohen,
guys. Thank you.
As he confirmed, he is
Thank
the
you, Joe.
non-doctor, the non-doctor. Boy, the Tiger King references, everybody has those. It was an entertaining show, but it was also educational for me. I found out that it's 100 times easier to convince two straight guys that they're gay than it is to convince a girlfriend that she's bisexual. So that was news to me. Thank you to all of our
It's Miami, Joe. It's super easy.
Anya, Larry, Jesse, thank you for coming out. Rick
Thank you.
Menares, thank you for setting this up.
Very different.
When we get back in the theater, we do this 10 o'clock every Friday night. But until then, check us out on our Just the Funny Improv comedy page. 9 o'clock on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for improv shows, stand-up shows, whatever. Thank you for coming out and watching us. And remember, if you came to the spotlight, you definitely thought right. Good night, everybody.
Woohoo!
Good night.